this very. The guest is Mr. RPatton, and the topic is the Freedom Ride, and of course Mr. Patton is a Freedom Ride participant. As a Freedom Rider, Mr. Patton, let's give our audience some idea in terms of what you were trying to achieve and the obstacles that segregation had already dealt in reference to what you wanted to do.
Okay, as you know, in that time, everything was separate. For example, if you're a Nashvilleian, you know that when you went downtown to shop, you had separate restrooms, separate water fountains. You could not eat in the facilities that they had in the 5 and dime stores. Well, they had the same thing in the bus terminals, Trailway and Greyhound. When you got, well, you had to sit in the back of the bus for one thing. Secondly, when you reached your destination, if you wanted to go in and have a sandwich or refresh yourself, you had to follow the signs that said colored. And according to the law, that was against the law, the federal law that allowed you as a passenger on the bus or an airplane, you were supposed to be able to use the facilities. You should be able to go into the front door, use the restroom of choice, and to use the lunch counter. But that's what CORE was testing, to make sure that these walls had fallen down. And so there were people who resisted this. First, I must tell you that they didn't just get on a bus or 2 buses and ride. This was one of those things that we found out in Nashville, was that the FBI had to know at all times what was going on. You had to call the FBI and let them know that you were moving from point A to point B and give names and how many people for your protection. Now, the thing that you must realize too is that all FBI are not the same. So as you get deeper and deeper into the South, that FBI might be a Ku Klux Klan person, or he might know somebody, or his feelings might be he might be a staunch segregationist. And so when we told the FBI, when Nashville got into the Freedom Ride, as I stated earlier, Jim Farmer asked Diane Nash not to send anyone else. Let's stop it right here. It's too dangerous. She said to him that if you let the bully know that he has bullied you and scared you into stopping, we'll never get anywhere. So Nashville is going to continue this Freedom Ride. So one of the problems that we had as students was trying to raise the money. And so we went to SCLC to raise money to send 10 people on the Freedom Ride, to continue that Freedom Ride. We met at First Baptist, and I don't know how many hours we talked back and forth about why we should go. Of course, the adults said it was too dangerous. You've seen what happened in Anderson and Birmingham. Why do you want to do this? Well, finally they gave in and wrote us a check. We needed $900 for 10 students. The check needed 2 signatures. They only had 1 person there to sign the check. And just to show you, just like in the sit-ins, the whole city was involved. Although there were students actually doing the sit-in portion.
They had a great support.
They had a great support team. When we needed the $900 and we had to wait for that signature, well, we wanted to go right then. While the fire was hot, let's get into it right now. We went to a policy person, a numbers man, and told him our situation, that we needed another signature. He cashed a check for us. He said, I'll get the other signature. You do what you have to do. And so on that Tuesday, we sent, the 16th, we sent our first 10 people on the Freedom Ride, and they from Nashville to Birmingham. And of course, the first day in Birmingham, I think that Wednesday, they sat in the bus station all day. This Thursday, they were in jail.
In Birmingham?
In Birmingham. They were arrested and put in jail. Thursday night, they were brought back, late Thursday night, they were brought back to the Alabama-Tennessee state line. They thought that they were going to be brought all the way home. but the chief of police put them out right
on
there
the state line.
on the state line, Ardmore, and they found a house. But before they got out of the car, Catherine Burke told the chief of police, she said she had to say something, and she was thinking about Gary Cooper. And we'll see you at high noon. We'll see you. We'll be back in Birmingham at high noon. They lucked up and found a house, a black family with a telephone. The man of the house didn't want to let them in, but Catherine said, if you talk loud enough so that the woman of the house can hear you, you're sure to get in. And so they did, and she told her husband to go and to several stores, not just one, but to several stores, and get some food for them, breakfast food. One of the things that we've talked about, some of us, is that we would like to go back to that place and find, if not that couple, a family member or someone who knows what happened that night. That's one of our projects. We're going to do that, trying to do it before June of this year, to go back and find somebody that knows something about what happened that night. That's a very important night in history. Now, that same night, Leo Lillard, I was in the office. Our office was on Jefferson Street between 18th and 21st. Leo Lillard and I were in the office. We got the call from Bill Harbor where they were, and of course we didn't have interstates. So he borrowed a station wagon, and we just found out last week that it was a station wagon and whose station wagon it was. Just to show you that he didn't remember, because you are wrapped up. This is a spiritual thing. First of all, you have to know that this is a spirit. This whole movement is a spiritual thing. And he was so wrapped up in what he was doing that he forgot whose car he had to borrow. And it was just last week that we found out he was in a state. All this time he thought he was in a car. He had borrowed a station wagon and went down and picked them up. Took all the back roads. I think we said he went down through Shelbyville and that way, and then took the back roads back into Birmingham. And so high noon, Friday morning, they were back in Birmingham. They were at the bus station.
Very good. And of course, let us make preparations for this second commercial break here, Mr. Patton, and after we'll come back and give you an opportunity to continue this discussion. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. The guest is Mr. Rip